In this video, I will give you overview of organization and project settings in Azure Devops. So if you have not signed up for the Azure Devops, you will need to go to this website dev.azure.com and then sign up for the account. Once you got the account, what you need to do is you need to create the organization, and then within the organization you can have multiple projects. You can also create multiple organizations as well. You can see here there is one organization that I have created, Saga 0219, and the same way you can create a new organization. Give the name to your organization and then the location as well. Hit continue, and then new organization will be created. And then you can create a new projects here. You can make the projects public as well as private. Then click on create project. And then you will land on this page. But before that, let me go back and then tell you what are the different settings that you can do for the organizations. This one is existing organizations that I have created already, and it contains one project P1. To access the organization settings, you can click on this button at the bottom left side, and here are the organization settings. So there are lots of settings related to the like security, boards, pipelines, artifacts, and there are some general settings as well. Over here you can change the organization name if you want, and you can also give the URL for your organization. Then you can set up the privacy URL if you want. Then description, time zone can be set from here. Region we have already selected, then organization owner, you can change it. You can delete the organization if you want as well. Then in the projects, let us see what are the settings. In the project, it will list down all the projects that you have configured for this particular organization. You can delete the projects as well by clicking on this button, and then here you can see delete or rename project options are there. Let us see what is in the users. In user section, most probably you will be able to add users to the projects and organization as well, and you can also set the group rules also. And the access level you can select, and then you can also select for which project this group rule will apply. In the billing section, you can view how much cost you will incur. If you use the resources, you can set up the billing here, and you can see here, if you are using the free plan, you will have 1800 minutes free CI/CD resources for a month, and self-hosted agent you can have one. You can attach one agent, your custom agent, to Azure Devops. Then basic users, 5 users can be there in your project, and basic plus test plans. You can also start free trial as well if you want to use this feature, test plan features. And artifacts, there can be a 2 GB of artifacts you can store in the free account, and load testing you can do 20,000 VMs. Then in the auditing, it will display all the activities that have happened in your project. For example, somebody kicks off the build, some permission change, somebody creates pull request, all those activities will be logged here. In global notifications, you have settings related to how you want to notify. Like for example, if somebody creates the pull request, then email notification should be sent to the reviewer. So that settings are there. You can go ahead with the default settings. If you want to change that, you can change it here. Then in the uses, I don't think there is anything informative here. You can skip this. In extensions, you can add different apps over there. No install extensions. You can go to marketplace and add the extensions. So extensions allow you to enhance the functionality of Azure Devops. In Azure Active Directory, it will show you if any Active Directory is connected to your account. You can also disconnect from it as well. Then let us go to securities. In security, you can set the policies. For example, if you want to disable the SSH authentication, you can do that. You can disable public projects if you want. Guest access can be turned off. So all these policies you can set, And permissions, you can give the permissions for different types of roles. For example, over here we have got these rules, for example, project collection administrator, and this is the description. You can add the users to these groups as well, so that permission settings can be done from here. And the boards, let us see what is in the process. So when we create the new project, you can create a project based upon these templates: basic, agile, scrum, or CMMI. So that settings are here. You can create a new team project based upon this model. You can disable this process if you want. You can set it as a default as well. In the pipeline section, we have got agent pools, where it is mentioned like what pools are available for you. So whenever you create a new build pipeline or release pipeline, the agents will be provided from these pipelines, Azure pipeline and defaults. So if you click on that, it will display what agents are available, what jobs were run from this pool. It will also display the agents as well and details. You can also add, remove the Azure pipeline if you have got the proper plan of Azure DevOps. Then let us go ahead in settings. Settings, you can limit job authorization scope to current project, limit variables so that can be set at queue time. So those settings are there. In the deployment pools, let us see what settings we have got. I haven't used deployment settings, so I'll skip this one. In the parallel jobs, you can set up how many parallel jobs you want to run. If you want to purchase more parallel jobs, you can do that by purchasing it. Like, you will have to pay for that. But free parallel jobs, you can see there is just one parallel job in the free account. For private projects and public projects, there are different options available. Then auth configuration is there, and artifact storage settings are there. So all these settings that I was talking about is related to the organization. Now there are also settings related to the project as well. Like, a organization can have multiple projects, and a specific project can have different settings altogether. So to go to the project, you just click on that project name, and then you will land up here. And down here you can see there is a project settings button. Just click on that, and in the overview you can change the project name. You can change the process if you want. Teams, you can set up the team for your project. Permissions, notifications, settings we have already seen. In dashboard, we can disable creating dashboards or editing dashboards. Editing dashboards by default it is turned on. You can keep it turned on for your projects as well. Then in the project configuration, you can create the iterations from here. You can set the dates if you want. In the team configuration, you can set up working days, see only the backlogs, your team manages backlog, navigation levels, epics and issues. Iterations related settings are here. So those settings are there. In GitHub connections, you can connect your GitHub account so that you will have access to your all GitHub repositories. In repositories section, you can manage the repositories. For example, if you want to delete any repository, you can delete that. You can edit the policies of your repository. So from here you can rename or delete your repository. So there are policies that you can apply. For example, you can commit author email validation policy can be applied, where every push will be checked for the author's email, and if it is not matching the pattern, then push will be rejected, and so on. There are lots of other policies. For example, you can also set the maximum file size as well. So here they have specified what kind of permissions are available for each of these groups in these repositories. Cross repository policies are there. In the pipeline section, we have already seen agent pools, parallel jobs, settings, service connections, XML build services as well. So all these settings are related to your project, and you can have different settings for each project. So that's it in this video. In next one, I'm going to cover this overview section of the Azure DevOps, in which we'll cover summary, dashboards and wiki. Thanks for watching this video.